What's up, guys? How's it going? 5, 4. Forgot to do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Um, hey, man. This is Jason J. Daniel. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry. I'm just setting up my Twitter, my X. Do you call it? Do you still call it Twitter, or do you call it X? I feel like that it's kind of weird to have people call it X and then people call it Twitter. Um, I'm kind of okay with calling it Twitter now. I was um, I was kind of focused on trying to go with Elon's brand. Here we go. Sorry, I had to check my sound. I was kind of obsessed, honestly, with trying to be kind of, I don't know, an Elon fan. I don't know. Um, I was obsessed with trying to respect the brand. Twitter is really X. Twitter's been good to me. And if you're watching this live on Twitter or X, thank you. I wanted to talk tonight just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. I think I wonder if I named my show right. Not named, but numbered my show right. Let's see here. Is it show 186? I got to make sure here. Because that's important to number your shows right. It is 186. Cool, man. Thank the Lord. Um, I just want to say thank you to you guys that watch on a regular basis. I really appreciate that. I do. Um, I just wanted to get on here and talk about the poor girl who was murdered by this lunatic on the light rail. I guess that's what it was. The train in Charlotte. I didn't realize this happened on August the 22nd. I didn't realize that. And the reason why is the media covers this up. Now, they couldn't cover up the video because the video finally got released, and it's really important. The video is so important for people to see. And that's why I wanted to take some time to go live with you and talk to you about this, because crime is a big deal for me. Like crime affecting cities is a huge deal for me. There's a lot of problems that are important in the world. The economy, of course, the threat of wars with the Ukraine and the threat of Venezuelan drug narcos trying to get their speedboats over here. That didn't work out. There's all bad politicians, bankers, Wall Street, people trying to bankrupt you, take your car, take your house. There's a lot of barriers to living in this world and in the United States comfortably. A lot of barriers. And putting all of that aside, the most, I would say, crucial, the most concerning thing for a person is safety. Safety. I think that if you had to line up what is the most important thing for a politician, a public official to take seriously, it's your safety and my safety. It's safety. Like, what do we elect these people for? Do we elect them just so they can tell us what to do and get rich and steal from us? Everybody else is already trying to do that. We don't need that. What we need is to feel safe. Imagine not having a police force. Imagine that. I watch a lot of apocalyptic shows. Maybe you do too. I have been rewatching The Walking Dead. And every time I rewatch a show that I enjoy, I always get something new out of it. Maybe you are too. I love TV. You know that. If you've been watching my podcast, I'm a TV guy. I love TV. And one of the things that I've been noticing with The Walking Dead as I've been rewatching it is the whole concept of no law enforcement. Like, what if that was reset and we're all back to everybody carries a weapon when you go outside, right? Everybody, even the humans that are alive, are like, all right, how many humans have you killed, right? And why? Like, everybody that has survived at that point, right, in the apocalypse, they're all lethal. Everybody's dangerous, right? Everybody has done something, and then that's the theme. Like in like season, I'm in season 5 now. That's the theme in season 5 is everybody's done something to get to this point to survive, right? And what's interesting to me is that I'm playing with my I'm trying to put up my graphics here. What's interesting to me is that here we go. That I kind of feel like we're there again. We're not again, but we're like there a little bit. Sorry, I got distracted. I feel like we're there now. We everybody is lethal. That's how I feel. And maybe that's paranoid, but I feel like if you go outside and get in your car, there are so many crazy fucking people in this world that don't care about your safety, that are just driving like a lunatic to get to the store or get to the hospital. And maybe they have good intentions, but they don't care about you. Everyone drives offensively, not defensively. You go to a grocery store, you don't know who's in that store. Like, you walk into a store, there's no metal detectors. Have you ever thought about how many people in a store that might have a weapon on them that's shopping with you? That just in case? Most people, I've worked with the homeless, I don't know if you have too, but most homeless folks that are on the streets, and I'm not blaming them because I would want to do this too, but most folks that are on the streets and they're perpetually on the streets and that's like kind of like their life, they have a weapon on them. They have to. The homeless carry weapons. People carry weapons. It doesn't matter what laws you have. And this is what boggles my mind, is that people are so concerned about the random occurrence, the 1 in a million occurrence that might happen in a mass shooting or a school shooting, which those are terrible, of course, not downplaying that, but people are always more concerned about that than being concerned about the lunatic sitting next to you with a fucking pocket knife who knows how to use it, who knows how to kill you. So going back to the Walking Dead analogy, this world is lethal. You just don't know what terrors and what crime and what viciousness awaits you outside of your home. And when you watch this video of this monster, this fucking monstrous lunatic animal who knifes this poor, young, innocent, defenseless woman in the throat and in the chest and watches her basically die and then walks off and shakes it off like not a big deal and just casually walks away when everyone is completely petrified and terrified of the brutal horror they just watched. You just don't realize these kind of monstrous people are waiting for you out in public. So what are you going to do? And back to The Walking Dead. That's part of the reason why people love those shows is because that's the world we really live in. We just see it acted out in like, meta. It's like very right in front of you. Like, bad people are zombies. Everybody's to protect themselves. You got to do things that make you compromise your principles to live. You got to put your family first. Your friends become your family. You bond together. You survive. Bad things happen. It's terrifying. blah, blah, blah. It's like a person who, it's basically like innocence becoming, not innocent, right? These arcs, these storylines. But that's why we gravitate towards these shows, because it's like that's what we're living in, man. Like I literally, when I watched the video, it's everywhere. And that's why I wanted to address it. When I watched that video, I was now they cut out the brutality, but they tell you what happens, and you see him do that image, that screen capture of him looking down on her and about to plunge the knife in her throat, and her just like a little innocent lamb on her phone. Looks like I think she was working at a pizza place. She's in her uniform. She's doing the American dream. She's working at a pizza place, making money, going home on public transportation that's supposed to be safe, with her phone, away from the war that she fled from. She's Ukrainian. She's sitting there like a little lamb, and she's slaughtered by this career monster felon that had been continually allowed to go back on the streets. So back to what I was saying earlier, our public, you watch my stuff and you're like, Jason always talks about crime and crime. And I give the Democrats a hard time about crime. I call them anarchists, or the ones that are not necessarily real Democrats. I'm so hard on that, and because that's what it's about, dudes. If you die, it's game over. You're not reanimating. You're not respawning. This is not Call of Duty. You get one shot at this. And I lay her death at the hands of the judge. There's a judge that let him out. I'll show you that in a second. Judge let him out. A mayor who issues a statement blaming mental health when you've got all these people who are seriously struggling in mental health to manage their mental health, going, really? I think it's about time that we stop blaming the people who are getting help for their disability or for their struggles. We need to stop laying violence at the feet of mental illness and say, maybe some people are just fucking monsters. Maybe we should go back to how it used to be. You're either a good person who does no harm and you contribute to society, or you're a piece of shit, bad monster who goes on the hunt to rape, kill, and pillage. I'm sorry, but there are those people out there doing it. You don't need an apocalypse to have people do apocalyptic things. They're doing them now. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that 4 or 5 years ago, there was a change in our country. And the change was bad is good, good is bad. No one has an identity. Everybody can pick what they want. If you want to have a lifestyle that is putting people in a bad situation, or if you want to threaten people, if your lifestyle threatens people and makes them feel unsafe, well, that's their problem, because you should be free to live your lifestyle. And that's fine. I'm not picking on people who have alternate lifestyles, but we have taken the glorious uniqueness of having an alternate lifestyle. That is a unique, glorious thing as a human. We've taken that and we've merged it. Liberal, lunatics, anarchists, in order to get power over people in our local governments, mostly them, they have merged violent tactics into that. And they're saying, well, it's all the same thing. You can go into a school and do violence against babies because you're upset because the establishment doesn't accept your choices. Well, we all got to live on this planet, and the only way to live on this planet is to not be murdered by crazy motherfuckers. And I'm tired of it. You should be too. The video is staggering. It's spellbinding. The video is spellbinding. When you watch it, it's like it's the most terrible thing to watch. The brutal stuff's cut out, but it's brutal enough. It's brutal enough. I'll take a time to do a little commercial and say, if you're watching this live stream, follow me, guys. Thank you. I'm everywhere. Jason J. Daniel. If you're watching this for the first time, thank you. I do true crime. We do politics. We talk sports. Do a lot of sports on my TikTok. Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok, or just put Jason J. Daniel in TikTok. You'll find my sports. We do a lot of stuff there. But I was like so sad, man. I was so sad when I saw this individual. His name is DeCarlos Brown. The senseless, brutal murder video finally was released, and everybody's shocked. Like all over social media today, it's just shocked. Everybody's shocked, except the mayor. Who was upset. Her statement. I'll show you her statement. Her statement is one of the most preposterous, disgusting statements, and we've seen a lot of disgusting statements from Democrat anarchists. I'm just going to call them that. I have a lot of. Can I just take a moment and say, I have a lot of friends that are Democrats or liberals that swing left. A lot of friends. A lot of my favorite actors are very liberal. I don't have a problem. I love Democrats. I love old school Democrats that believe those principles. I love Democrats. But the Democrat Party has been hijacked by dirty, rotten scoundrels who have done everything they can to gain power in our country, in our local governments, by hijacking the Democrat brand and forcing all sorts of chaos onto people using it, saying it's a way to be free. But you're not free when you're worried about dying when you're on the subways or you're on these light rails. Look, terrible things happen in New York. I post my last video I did on crime. I posted on YouTube. They took it down because they took two of them down and tried to give me a strike, saying I couldn't talk about the poor lady who was set on fire by the illegal alien monster who was on the streets and in the subways. But people did not want to take that seriously. Well, maybe we should take this one seriously. This is a Ukrainian woman young lady who, from all news accounts, was a refugee, had escaped the horrors of the war over there. She's living the American dream to be free. She's taking advantage of public transportation that should be safe. The guy didn't even have a ticket. He didn't even have a fucking ticket to be on that light rail. But there he was. Look, I trust nobody. I've taken public transportation whenever I go to games. The best way to get to sporting events, concerts in my area in Northern California, you got to take light rail when you get to a certain point. I enjoy public transportation. I've been in a lot of major cities. I've been to Paris, public transportation, Washington, D.C., but never. I've been in Queens. I've been in public transportation, Queens, 1 a.m. on the subway, rough parts of New York City, Manhattan. Never felt like I was going to be injured. Never felt threatened. Now, I was lost in Paris in the backcountry roads. That's a long story. At midnight in Paris, outside of Paris, I thought that was terrifying. But now it's different. That was years ago. Now, if I ride light rail and shit, I'm not sitting with it. See, she made all the mistakes I would never make. But see, I'm an older guy. I don't trust anybody. I don't. I tell people that all the time, and it blows their mind when I tell them I don't trust people. I like people. I have friends. There are people I trust. Did you catch that? There are people I trust, but I don't just trust random people. I have to get to know someone in order to trust them. So I've traveled. I do a lot of travel. I've done international travel. I have a way of doing things because I travel alone a lot. So I always try to stay protected. I have all sorts of things I do to manage my safety. Because even though I'm a capable guy, I bench 220 pounds, I work out, I'm athletic, I'm in great shape, 3 miles on the treadmill, I have very good cardio. I know I'm talking about myself now, in case you wonder. I I've trained in striking. I can grapple a little bit. I've been in situations where fight or flight. I know I'm a fight. Okay, I am I've been through a lot of situations. I've been in fights. I know things. I consider myself someone that can take care of myself, but I will not allow myself to have an ego and feel like I can always take care of myself. That's just not true, because it doesn't matter how good I can punch or how good I can grapple. If some lunatic named DeCarlos Brown wants to stab me in the neck when I can't see it, lights out, game over. You're not respawning. This is done. You got one life here. And what is infuriating to me is that there are mayors like this mayor in Charlotte and the mayor of Oakland. There's all these mayors that we're aware of. New York City mayor, you name it, Seattle. These mayors of these major cities, San Francisco has a better mayor, but still he just doesn't get it. They don't fucking get it. It's about murder. It's about stopping murder. Sorry, I lose my voice. I wasn't getting emotional. Chicago. So look, say what you want about Trump in the National Guard and federalizing it. We've talked about it on my show. Say what you want, but man, I'll take that over what happened to poor. I have to get her name, but what DeCarlos Brown did to her name is Iryna. I apologize because I'm not very good with these names, but it's Iryna Zarutska. I'm going to say Zarutska. I'm going to just call her. Rest in peace. No disrespect to her. I just, you know, Zarina. I'm just going to. Ariza. I'm messing it up. I feel bad. Iryna. Is it maybe Iryna? Yeah, Iryna. Iryna. I'm just going to say Iryna. Apologies. I haven't heard anybody. I haven't watched any news videos where them pronouncing your name. It's just been reading it. Iryna. Iryna. I'm going to say Iryna. Zarutska. R.I.P. Young lady. Beautiful young woman who was murdered by this piece of garbage, man. So I have Democrat friends. So when I call them anarchists, not my friends, but when I say the Democrats are anarchists, I'm talking about a specific brand of Democrats. I want the old Democrats to take over. Democrats used to be tough on crime, man, but now all these Democrats are saying it's racist to bring out the National Guard. It's a dog whistle. It's an occupation. Oh, and crime is down. Crime is not down. Crime's not down. Not if you're getting killed on the light rail on August 22 with a knife to the throat. Crime is not down. Like how cowardly that guy was, man. Just so cowardly. Let's just jump to the. I have sometimes I have issues with my. I have my own producer, guys. Take this off here. Let's go to the. Let's go to the article. Let's look at the article here. Let me share this. Screen share. I should be sharing it right now, right? Sorry, I'm going to go to the. I thought I was screen sharing it. Okay, share. Okay, maybe let's see. Oh, I forgot to. There's something I have to hit up here. Sorry about that, guys. So bad. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So they released the surveillance video of the deadly light rail stabbing. Charlotte's transit system. In Charlotte, North Carolina, they've released cats. I guess that's the name of their their acronym for their public transportation. I guess that makes sense. Carolina Transportation System. Released surveillance video of the deadly stabbing that took the life of 23-year-old woman. DeCarlos Brown is facing first-degree murder in connection. In connection? The way they write this shit, it's a video. Connection? It's a video. He's doing it on video. It's not a connection. He's doing it on video, man. I will say he allegedly did it because I'm just trying to be fair. But he murdered her around 10 p.m. Near the light rail station along Camden Road. That doesn't matter to me where the region, what the location. Her death has ignited a conversation over safety on Charlotte's transit system and questions about the mental. No, it has not ignited questions. See, this WCNC, they are part of the propaganda machine. They are trying to plant seed. Whoever reads this, they're planting seeds in their mind that this was a mentally ill guy. If you watch the video, you see him sitting there. He sees her. He pulls out a pocket knife, unfurls it, and waits and murders her with authority, with a move that you learn when you learn how to kill people. That was not just mental health is they stab you in the back of the neck. Like they get you when you're not, like that's mental health. I mean, I suppose someone has a breakdown. It's not going to be that dramatic. He stood up and bam, right here. That was a kill move. These guys are just jokes. Whoever wrote this, who wrote this? Hank Lee and Jesse Pierce and Anna King. You guys are a joke and you're a disgrace. I'll post that on X. I'll tag you. It's unbelievable. It's not sparked a conversation about mental health. It sparked a conversation about safety. And it should spark it around the country. This guy, I don't believe in the death penalty. That might shock you. I don't think it deters anything. We've been killing people on death row for 50 years or something? People are still murdering. That doesn't deter anything. Being trapped in a cell forever and having to rehabilitate yourself and live with what you did and suffer in a cell for the rest of your life, that to me is punishment. Knowing you'll never be free. Not we're going to give you. Now, if you executed them like in a third world country and it was a brutal execution, that might be something people think about. But our Constitution prevents cruel and unusual punishment, so we can't do that. Not saying we should. My point is, I don't believe in the death penalty, but in this situation, I do believe there should be crimes that are they check you out because you fucking earned it, and there's no rehabilitation for you. And there's no rehabilitation for this. There's not. I mean, if you're the family, I'd like to know of this poor young lady. I'd like to know what they think. I'm sure they're not thinking there's a rehab on this. I'm just angry about it. I'm angry because she did not deserve that. And now everyone has to live in fear because who else is out there with a weapon? Do we got to go back to metal detectors? I mean, the truth is you get on a bus, you don't know. You don't know who's got what. And if there were any warning signs, there are tons of warning signs. He's got 5 or 6. He had tried to kill his sister or something. He had all these violent felonies. And the last judge released him on his own recognizance. The last judge let him out when he is somebody that you don't let out. They let him out without having to serve any kind of... It's ridiculous. It says another writer said, I don't feel comfortable at all. Well, no kidding. They confirm Brown did not have a ticket to ride the train. There was no security present in the exact car where the attack happened. If there was security, you don't know if it would have stopped him, but at least it would have made him think about it. And that is the problem, is when there is no security in your face, there is no deterrent for bad people. Sometimes bad people need to know that something worse will happen to them if they get out of line. The language de Carlos Brown, obviously the language he speaks is death. The language he speaks is violence. So if he needs help, if he was in a mental health crisis and he commits a very violent act and murders an innocent woman, your crisis is over. You have to understand this. It's not about your mental health crisis if you take it to another level and murder an innocent person. This lunatic that went into the school and killed babies a couple of weeks ago, it's unbelievable. They might have been having a mental health crisis, but the minute you pick up a weapon and you kill or hurt an innocent person, you're not having a crisis. You are a monster when you do some of these things. Now, yes, there are levels, but you're not in a crisis if you murder someone. You might have been, but your crisis is over. Now we have a crisis, and that's you. It's just, it used to be very clear. Mental health was not the scapegoat for monsters. I feel bad for the mentally ill. They have to live with the fact that they're always scapegoated by monsters. Yes, people have mental crisis, and people go through very terrible things. And yes, if someone is pushed to commit a violent act because they're suffering internally in a crisis, I understand this. I'm not accepting it, but I understand it. But this is not a mental health crisis. And this lunatic mayor, who is a complete disaster and a waste of space, wants to make this all about mental health, not about the fact that they don't care about public safety. They just don't. So Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles issued the following statement. The video of the heartbreaking attack. It's pathetic. No, it wasn't heartbreaking. It was completely disgusting and traumatic and horrifying. Heartbreaking that's what the family's going through. We're horrified. The attack that took Iryna's life, I'm just going to say that to make it simple. Iryna's life is now public. Well, so she already saw it. She knew. She also goes, listen to this. I want to thank our media partners. So she's got media partners. Okay, I thought the media was supposed to hold you accountable. No, they're not. So we have to do it. Podcasters have to do it. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles is vile because she has partnerships with the media that covers up her deficiencies. Media partners and community members who have chosen not to repost or share the footage out of respect for a family. No, it's disrespectful to not share it and tell people what happened to her. Thank God that video came out because I didn't know this happened to this young lady. I didn't know. I wish I would have known. I would have said something sooner. This was a senseless and tragic loss. Well, that's an understatement. Yeah, totally. My prayers remain with their loved ones as they continue to grieve. Oh, your prayers? I don't need your prayers. It's cool. Pray all you want. But what we need is for you to take some action. Like so many of you, I'm heartbroken. No, you're not, chick. You're not. And I've been thinking hard about safety. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. What safety really looks like in our city? What a disgrace. Like, I would be, if I was living in Charlotte and I saw the statement, I'd be terrified that it's only going to get worse. See, these people, to me, her and a bunch of other mayors in these cities talk like crime bosses to me. They talk like villains in movies saying everything's fine. I'll look into it. The corrupt, they sound more and more like the corrupt villain in a Batman movie than a responsible adult that's really taking their job seriously. I remain committed to doing all we can. No. See, you should remain committed or just make a new commitment to stop murder. It's easy. You just get up and say, we're coming after you. We're coming after all of you people on the streets that have felonies and you haven't been in court to finish it out. We're coming after you. We're anybody that has a violent felony, we're going to knock on your door and see how you're doing. Make sure you get the treatment or whatever you need. Make sure you don't have weapons on you. I'm sure DeCarlos Brown probably had a motion in the court that prevented him, or a court order that prevented him from carrying a knife. Easy math. So there you go. So that's let's let's show you him. Let's show you him. I'll show you this. I'm going to show you. Let me show you what these two look like. Let me just show you. It's there you go. So there is the 23-year-old who was murdered while riding the Lynx Blue Line in South End in North Carolina, and you've got DeCarlos Brown, age 34, DeCarlos Brown Jr. Somebody, he's got a dad with the same name. I feel bad for him, man. Well, maybe not. You raised this piece of shit. You know, we have to start holding parents accountable. We have to start holding families accountable. We have to start holding people accountable for these lunatics on the streets. You know, we're having everybody pay for these people that are violent felons on the streets if they're not connected to housing or if they don't have support. We're doing it as taxpayers. Why aren't they court ordering family members to do something? That would make a difference. They should compel family. They should do a court order on the entire family and say, you have a violent felon in your family. You guys are going to be responsible to monitor him. Why not that? You do it for teenagers. If a teenager commits a crime, usually you would hold the parents accountable. You don't do it now, apparently, in this day and age, but they used to. There used to be accountability. We have lost the fundamentals of safety in our world. The nuclear family, the family that stays together, that prays together, stays safe together. I'm sorry, but families that stay together and are well adjusted, I mean, you can have a broken home and still stay together. I'm just saying families that look out for the ones that are vulnerable or that are going through crimes and having problems, families that look out for those people and pull them close and on top, those are the families that keep everybody else safe. You have a responsibility. DeCarlos Brown's family failed. His friends failed. They have a responsibility. They should be held accountable somewhere along the line, and somebody should ask them, where were you? Where were you? There's no excuse for this young lady to be dead right now. No excuse. There's no excuse for murder in these cities. No excuse. And that's why I support Trump when he says, send in the National Guard. If there's a National Guard person standing there, I mean, come on, man. Joe Biden and everybody in these lunatic anarchists in local governments turned on the crime spigot and said it's okay to shoplift, it's okay to break into cars, it's okay to punch people in the streets, it's okay to do these things. We don't have resources. DA, stop prosecuting stuff. Let's be honest. This was a wave. It happened 5 years ago, and it was a plan and a plot to get Trump to not be reelected. We all know why these Democrat leaders became anarchists. They were Democrat opposition in the beginning. Remember, Trump was elected, and everybody's wearing the pussy hat, and everybody's doing opposition, which is fine. I guess I'm just ranting right now without talking about what's on the screen. But my point is, and there you can see DeCarlos. You can Google him for yourself. There's enough of that piece of shit on my screen. I'm done. Sorry. All right, if you don't like this, I'm sorry. We have to be serious. I just thank God it's not. I feel terrible to say this, but I thank God that he didn't murder somebody I knew. But it could easily be you. It could be easy. Those poor babies in that school, that Christian Catholic school, that were praying, 4 or 5-year-old babies, a lunatic comes in specifically on a mission of murder, and they weren't protected. She wasn't protected. Like, when are we going to protect each other here? When are we going to look out for each other? When are we going to make sure things are safe? You know, I've been in situations with my daughter, you're shopping where I've been in there's one situation, a guy came in to a grocery store, we're checking out, he started acting crazy, demanding stuff, started throwing stuff. I went up to him and I pushed him and got his attention. No one, there was 4 or 5 men there. They all froze. The guy was trying to take things. I went up to him and hit him in the shoulder, and he didn't see me coming. It shocked him, and he stopped. And I said, "Get out! Get the fuck out! Get out now!" And then another guy backed me up, and then he just slowly backed out, like, you know, like when you invoke on a vampire. I revoke my invitation, and they go. Whoosh. That's exactly what he did because I stood up to him. Now I don't recommend that, because he could have had a weapon. It could have happened differently, but I'm an action person. And that's happened more than once. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm with somebody who I care about and love. And so I'm a little more in protective mode. But I've done it before when I haven't had a family member. I've seen things that are unsafe, and I've gone to managers and I've said, "Hey man, this is broken out here. This is not safe. Somebody's going to get hurt." I think about safety. I think you should too. I think we all should. As my drink is done, my monologue is concluded. Thanks for watching my show. Please do me a favor and repost, like, and comment. If you don't like me, just give me a like. If you don't like me, give me a like anyway. So I'm on a mission. I hope you should be too. I'm on a mission to talk about crime on my podcast and to hold public officials accountable. I'm on that mission. And I'm going to be a voice that's going to hold this Charlotte mayor accountable for what's going on. Most mayors, public safety is like, it's crazy. Most cities, mayors pretty much only can affect public safety. It's wild. And a lot of the charters in these local governments, the mayor is chiefly connected to how safety, whoops, I just dropped my phone, chiefly connected to how safety is implemented and executed in a city. Oakland specifically is that, for example. We talk a lot about Oakland out here because it's the most corrupt city. There's a lot of corrupt cities. New York's corrupt, a lot of corrupt cities. And if people don't speak up and use social media to talk to each other and say and motivate each other and say, we got to do something about this. But mayors control public safety. So I encourage you to be vigilant. Never let anybody sit behind you. Here's my tips. Jason's tips. This is what I do. Here's last thing I'll leave is I do a lot of traveling. I've been to foreign countries, and here's my tips for these kind of things. Now, I don't want to say that this young lady was not being safe, and I don't want to put any blame on her. Of course, I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to put on any blame on you if you're not, looking out for your surroundings. But the only one's going to look out for you is you. These people you vote for, they don't care about you. They're not looking out for you. You're the only one's going to look out for you. You got to figure that out when it comes to the government. A lot of you guys trust the government. You're crazy. You're absolutely fucking crazy to trust the government. I trust an NFL team before I trust the government. I'd be like, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking out for me more than the government is. Like, you might as well just believe in Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory, which is not real, because if you believe the government cares about you, you're fooling yourself, man. Even if the president does what he's got to do, it affects people. Like everybody's affected by decisions these people make. And we elect them not thinking about it. Think about this. There are people who have voted to elect politicians, and then a year later or months later, that politician makes a decision or a mistake that causes them to actually die. Gavin Newsom has done that many times in California, or their homes are lost. Think about all the people that voted for him in Los Angeles. Him and Karen Bass, they did nothing. People died, millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of acres destroyed in fires because of their negligence. People died COVID. People died because of things Fauci did. People died because of the decisions of one person. People that voted for Gavin died because they trusted him and they voted for him. So that is completely a reality in our world. The people you vote for could be the people that cause your demise. That's why it's really important to be very studious and make conscious decisions when you vote, and everybody needs to vote. Why should everybody vote? See, it's not about we don't want the wrong person in office. That's not how I look at it. I look at it this way. I need to know who I'm voting for because that person makes choices that could kill me. It's that real. This world is so different than it used to be 10 years ago. It's so different. Our politicians are so much more corrupt and negligent, and people are getting hurt and killed and mangled and disabled because of the decisions these people are making that are unsafe for us. So here's Jason's tips on travel. 1, never travel to a place you haven't studied. Even if you're going to another city to go watch a ball game, taking your family, don't just go and not know where you don't rent. Sometimes I will do a test run as far as I can on a thing, virtual reality it or whatever, study the maps, always know the territory. Also look at the crime rate. Always look at the crime rate of you can geotag it to the street you're going to. Look at the crime rate. Google news articles about people you're going to visit, doctors, lawyers. Google things. You can Google any place you're going. Google public transportation system. See how many crimes are there happen on it. Check X, social media. Put in keywords. Know where you're going. 2, be in good shape. Be in good shape. Lift weights. Go to the gym. Eat right. Make sure you're in good shape. One of the reasons why I do my best to stay in shape is because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm too weak to defend myself. Sure, I'd like to eat steaks all day and weigh 300 pounds and not care. Everybody would. And I'm not downing you if that's what you do. I'm just telling you it's not a safe lifestyle, because if you're ever in a car wreck or you're on a hiking or something, it's not just people. Or if you're on the streets and somebody comes at you and you don't know why they're coming at you, you got to look like you can defend yourself. 2, always make eye contact with strangers. 3, I always make eye contact with strangers. If I'm alone with a stranger on any kind of, like a bus, if I'm taking public transportation, which I still do. If I'm leaving the airport, I take an airport shuttle. Always be aware. That's 3. Always look at people. Look at them. Because if you look at them, they know they ID'd me. And if they're considering doing something to you, you've already showed them you are not afraid to look at them. It's so powerful, looking people in the eye. This poor young lady sat down, and this brings me to my next. I think I'm at 4. I might lose track of my numbers. My next thing I never do when I'm alone traveling or even anywhere, never be so absorbed in your phone you don't know who's next to you. Never do that. She did that. When I'm on the streets, and I'm going to the gym or I'm walking through a parking garage, sometimes I will park farther away from a place because I want to get cheaper parking or I want to walk or whatever, or it's just my car. I don't like people parking too close to me because people just don't care. They'll ding your car. So sometimes I'll park a little farther out. If I'm wearing headphones, which I usually do a lot of because I love music or I'm listening to something, I always keep your head on a swivel. I only wear one. If I'm jogging, which I on the treadmill, By myself, I have a small gym. I have 2 gyms I go to. I have a small gym, then I have a big gym. If I'm alone or at the pool or something alone, always one. I never, because you can't hear you you can't hear somebody coming up on you. Never cut off that. Your hearing is so important to protecting yourself. You see what's interesting? You know what's interesting? Is that, if you've ever seen like an accident or you've seen something, like your eyes see something that doesn't make sense, your mind has a heart, your mind takes moments like, what am I watching? Right? Or if anyone's ever come to attack you or something, or a car is going to crash into you, but you have a chance to see it, your mind will be like, what am I? There's those moments your mind's not sure what it's seeing because your eyes will deceive you, right? But your ears never do. Your ears never do. When you hear a crash, boom, right? Your ears know, right? Your ears know danger. You hear a scream, right? Your ears always know. So never block that. Never block that. Another tip is never be wasted, never be drunk with strangers. I mean, now I've done a lot of that, unfortunately, in my life. I've gone to a lot of bars and hit it hard, and I've lived a little bit. I'm an ex-hairdresser. That's what we do. We meet random people and get drunk. I've done a little bit of that, and I shouldn't have done it. We all make mistakes, but never overdrink with people you don't know. Anything bad can happen, or something bad can happen to you, and they're not there to help you, or they're not looking out for you. Another tip is always, if you're going to go somewhere alone, always tell somebody. Now, our phones can geo-track things. It is what it is. But if you're depending on your phone to be the way someone finds you if something bad happens to you, what? It's a little too late. I don't need people geo-tracking me to find out where I was at. If I went to Denny's the night before, or if I was at Chuck E. Cheese, I don't need the police trying to reconstitute my day. That means something. That means that was my last day. Okay. So always tell somebody. Always geotag yourself with somebody. Send your location person. Say, hey, this is where I'm at. Another thing I always do is always keep a battery backup. I never travel without a backup battery. You never want to be in a place where your phone dies. Now, in the old days, we never had to worry about that because there were phones everywhere. There were public phones everywhere, but public phones have been taken away. Part of the reason was a lot of these companies, you think public phones were taken down because they're outdated and, we need to move past technology. No, the cell phone companies that wanted you guys to use cell phones, now it's ubiquitous to make billions of dollars off of us. They lobbied all of these local governments and state governments to pull these phones out of our society. Do you realize if you're out alone somewhere without a cell phone, you are so screwed? It never used to be that way. You could always run to the nearest 7-Eleven or someplace. Everybody had a payphone. They were in the pizza place. They were in a grocery store. Payphones were everywhere. You could call on it and call 911 on a payphone. Old movies, they're always trying to run to a payphone. Some movies, Die Hard 3, you had to run. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson running from payphone to payphone. Some movies would never exist now because payphones exist. But we have been crippled by our evil, greedy overlords in our society who have done everything they can to push us in a direction to buy things from them. So without a cell phone, you're in a lot of trouble if you're out somewhere. So always, another tip is if you're driving, I don't know how you guys can do. I see on Twitter people saying, I did a 7-hour drive. I did 11. Never drive that far, man. It's crazy. Get a plane ticket. And I never drive. My rule is never drive more than 4 hours or 3 hours in a car. If there's an airport, pay for a ticket. It's safer. Driving there's too many things that can happen. Get in an airport. There's a lot of people. You're safer in an airport. If you're driving 11 hours, it means you're driving freeways that are desolate. Don't be that person. Don't do that. Another tip is always have your car maintained, right? That's another tip. Always have cash on you. Always have a little bit of reserve cash. Cards, you think your card will work everywhere you go? What if you go to that what if you're stuck somewhere and you got to make a deal to get a ride, right? This is just travel tips. I mean, look, but I've done a lot of this is solo travel. Done a lot of solo travel. Always think about, never have let anybody sit behind you. That's another thing I never do. Unless you have people around you, and I always lean over. Like if I had been her in that video, did you see how he was? If you watch the video, you'll see he's positioned like this. She comes in and sits down like right here in front of him, right here, right here. He totally has dominance over that. He was sitting there on purpose. Who knows? He might have been looking for a murder that night, and she happened to be the one. He clearly wanted it. He's clearly ready, yet he's walking the streets with a weapon. He pulled it out. You see him deliberately pull it out and just wait. She had no idea what was coming, but he did. So she should have been that way. She should have been like that. She should have sat like that. I always sit with my back against the window so I can, with my feet out. Why are my feet out? If somebody comes up with something or I'm not understanding them, I could kick them. They can see me coming with my full complement of my body. I will be able to protect myself. I can protect my vital organs, my neck, by looking forward. Never be if you're alone, it's sparse. Never be behind. Never let somebody behind you. In that video, there was places she could have sat. She chose to sit there. She's on her phone. She's involved. She did all the things, unfortunately, that allowed her guard to be down. It wasn't her fault, but she was very vulnerable because she didn't mind her surroundings. That's not her fault. That's on the people that were paid to protect her. Security, the politicians, the police. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's been about an hour. I'm going to wrap, but go with God, you guys. Thanks for watching. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Please, share this, like it. RIP to that poor young lady. And I hope that cat gets the chair, man. I mean, old Sparky. Do you remember old Sparky? Old Sparky was an electric chair in Florida. They finally had to decommission it because it would set people on fire. It was like every fourth guy or gal that they put in old Sparky would set them on fire. It was terrifying. So it became a cruel and unusual punishment thing. So they had to decommission old Sparky. I say let's bring old Sparky back. And why they called him old Sparky is because the chair would burn you. So last thing I'll say is the Democrat anarchists who are in love with power, they just don't care about people. They'll tell you crime is down. It's so crazy. The more they have said crime is down because Trump wanted to send the National Guard in these cities. Now Charlotte's going to, trust me, Trump's going to send National Guard to Charlotte. Trust me. Trust me, Trump's more on social media than you are. That's your problem. That's why he won the election, because he knows what he knows because of social media. He's on it. So the minute Trump says, I'm bringing out the National Guard to protect people, I'm like, dude, bring them all out. You can occupy me all day long. I'm cool. Protect me, man. You got to protect the kids, the babies. Protect people, women and children. Have you noticed women and children have been the victims of the most recent visible negativity and murders? I mean, even that little kid with the baseball, this lady comes out and steals his baseball. She didn't care about the child. She just cared about the baseball. That's the most incredibly selfish thing you can do. Clearly, she has no children. You can tell when somebody doesn't have children by the way they act around children or when you talk about children. So there's a war on children. We've known that. There's a war on women. We've known that. What is a woman? People are confused. I'm not. I know what a woman is. But they want you to be confused. Now, I'm not talking negative about somebody who has transitioned. I have no problem with that. But what I'm saying is we should know the difference. But it is disrespectful to women to try to say, well, there isn't femininity that is exclusive to a gender. It's just disrespectful to not acknowledge that. So we went from, hey, okay, we're gonna gender transitions are a thing. This is what we're doing. It's in society. It's it is part of what we're doing. But now it's to the point to where people just wanted to, well, their women don't exist anymore. That's where we're at, right? That's not it's so it's a war on women, a war on femininity. Used to be before Biden was weird. Before Biden got in, it was a war on masculinity, toxic masculinity. Men are too tough. Then they created soy boys and they won. I know I'm going down a tangent, but look, there's not where are the tough guys? Where are the tough guys? We don't have we don't have tough guys anymore. Now you can't be a tough guy. Right? It used to be all the tough. Look, 5 years ago, tough guys ruled TV. They ruled, man. All of a sudden, now it's soy boys. It's it's everybody being like 110 pounds, and there are action heroes, long hair. Not that I have a problem with it. I'm a hairdresser. I'm kind of effeminate in a lot of ways. I have feminine energy. It's not a problem. But the fact that we have allowed ourselves to be brainwashed that certain things are just not static anymore, that causes massive confusion in our world. And then when a DeCarlos Brown monster comes up and murders a woman, we're confused. Is this mental health? Is it public safety? Is it her fault? His fault? Oh, the poor little guy needs a hug, right? We're confused. We used to not be confused. We're very confused because we have a lot of confusing talking voices, a lot of confusing politicians. They're confused, and thereby the people are. I just went on a tangent. So, anyway, crime's not down. And so when Trump said, I'm going to bring in the National Guard, they're all saying crime is down. Crime might be decreasing, but look, in certain situations, but here's the thing. If you got 50 murders, and then next week you're like, well, we didn't have any murders, so crime is down. No, crime's not fucking down. It just means crime's taking a break. It's taking a siesta. You still got 50 murders. That's called bad. That's called crime's up. You know what's down? Nobody gets murdered, you dumb idiots. That's when crime is down. But instead, we get on social media and these guys lick each other's boots and protect each other and say, well, crime, look, the statistics say crime is trending down. Okay, thanks, man. But crime was up 2 months ago. Just because it's better doesn't mean it's better. It's a joke. If a Tesla stock goes down $1 today, tomorrow it's still a Tesla stock. It's just less valuable. But probably next week it could go up. That's crime. Crime has value. It's either more valuable or less valuable to liberals and politicians. They see crime as numbers of value. The more crime, the more people are afraid. And they can get votes. And they can bully pulpit on that and say, I know all these things happen, but we can fix crime. What if crime didn't exist? Politicians wouldn't know what to do. We wouldn't need them. But we need them when we're in fear. So we're at a point where, we went from no masculinity to no femininity. Now we're at, you're not safe, so live with it. It is what it is, and you're a lamb and you're a victim. This is exactly where they wanted us way back. This is what they wanted. So after they got Trump out, look, Trump's crazy and Trump's all these things, but you have to be like that the world is full of Putins and all these guys that are doing everything they can to take the world with violence, and we need tough politics. We don't need a Joe Biden who's asleep at the wheel. We don't need a guy who is mentally, incompetent. We don't. We need somebody who's going to be mean. I think it's important for us to be tough because I'm a tough guy. That's who I am. So that speaks to me. And also I'm a protector. So when Democrats tell you crime is down, they're Democrat anarchists. They're not Democrats. Legitimate Democrats are honest, my Democrat friends that I know will tell you crime is a problem, but this is the solution. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear crime's down, because if you have people, you're always going to have crime. I'm sorry. The more people, the more crime. So you're never going to eradicate crime, because humans are inherently evil. That's a whole nother conversation. But the only way to eradicate crime is to eradicate people, which is not going to happen, because animals aren't criminals. People are. People do the worst shit to each other. So until we can get that out of us, which we never will, because that's just humans, we will always have crime, and we will need people to stop bad people. It's just the way it is. DeCarlos Brown is a bad piece of garbage. He murdered a woman. He was that guy before the murder. The murder didn't make him worse. It made everybody else worse. It didn't change him. He's still who he was. We just pretended he didn't exist. And we have to be honest. There are people out there that are really bad people that are looking for you to let your guard down. And they will kill you. They will take from you, and they will murder you. They will laugh in your face. They will cut you in the neck like her on this poor young lady, 23, refugee Ukrainian. He will watch you die and walk out and go get an ice cream. That is the world we live in. Life doesn't mean anything to certain people. Certain people do not value life. And unfortunately, the people that value life are the ones that are usually the victims. Another case in point. Maybe I'm watching too much true crime lately. Another case in point. Those college students that were murdered, the 4 college students, they were really wonderful people. By that is it Idaho? Was that where that was? He was just convicted. Brian Koberger or whatever. I'm getting the name wrong, but you know what I'm saying. That guy, that guy who murdered those people, he hasn't said one word as to why he did it. He hasn't given any. He didn't confess to any of it. But they caught him red-handed, and he pleaded guilty. He's like, I'm not going to go through it. There's no reason why he did it other than the fact is that he is a murderer. But people saw the signs, but they didn't know that this is where this was going to go. But he completely was excited about murdering these people and proud of it, because that's who he is. Some people grow up to be murderers. It's in their DNA. It's who they are. You can't stop them. You can only avoid them. And then when they have tendencies, you have to do something to protect yourself. Once they do what they did, it's too late. So this Brian guy that killed these poor college students that were incredible humans, incredible people, 3 wonderful ladies and a young guy, just amazing people. Senseless, pointless, and people are asking why. And everybody kept wanting to know why. Well, there is, I'll tell you why. I mean, that sounds pretentious, but here's how I see it. He kills. Easy as that. He's a predator. He doesn't need a why to murder. He is the why. He is murder. DeCarlos Brown, he is murder. He is mayhem. He is death. He is a destroyer of worlds. Those 4 college students, their world is destroyed forever, or their family. Their families will never be the same. Their trajectory has been changed. There's the children those folks were going to have, the careers, the people they were going to help, completely destroy. That guy was a destroyer of worlds. DeCarlos Brown destroyed this young lady's world, her future, gone, erased, an alternate. Now her family's going to live in an alternate reality they never thought they'd have to live in. So some people are just the why. You don't have to ask a killer why. He is the why. And the more we look at that and go, there's no rehabilitation for these nightmares walking the streets, the safer we will be. Yes, we're going to have to make some tough choices. Hey, man, if they had cracked down and put this guy in jail for 15 years or whatever and really made his life a nightmare, he would have killed her. But they kept letting him out over and over and over. There's an article, I didn't have it up, but talks about the judge that let this guy off. We can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore. We have to be tough on crime. I could keep talking about it, but anyway. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. You guys are amazing. And be safe. Be safe. And RIP this young, beautiful woman who hopefully her memory will be remembered her memory will be remembered. That came out wrong, but hopefully, people can something good can come from this. I know that sounds terrible, and she died in August, on the 22nd, so it wasn't like yesterday, but it pretty much was. But God bless her soul, rest her soul, R.I.P. to her, and you guys take care and have a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll remind you that it would be awesome if you subscribed. Subscribe on YouTube and follow me on X. Follow me on X. And if this message resonated with you, please share it. Please share it. Thank you guys. Take care. Have a great night. Stay safe.